All right. I'm pleased to have Titi on the podcast, and yeah, for those who are going to be listening or wanting to watch this on YouTube, we won't be doing video for this one, but I believe that the conversation is gonna be good enough or valuable enough for you guys to listen and enjoy it even on YouTube. Welcome.
Thank you, Thilivhali. Thank you so much. It's so weird though to be called Titi, because there's something I usually hear at home and from my siblings only. Yeah, but then thank you for having me today, Shepherd.
Yeah, I guess I'm part of the family as
Yeah,
well.
you are because you know that name.
Sure. And look at me publicizing your name now.
Yeah. Now everyone will be calling me that name.
Especially when you show this to your colleagues.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, why didn't you give us the shorter version?
Yes, I know one colleague that will love to spite me with that name.
Oh, yeah, but with that said, thank you so much for honoring the invite. And and I mean, this is our. I mean, I don't know how many times have we tried to do this, but for the long story short is we are re-recording because of technical issues. But let's get into the business. Please introduce yourself and what you do.
Okay, so my full name is Thilivhali, but everyone calls me Tili. Thilivhali Netshifheffe. I'm from Limpopo, in an area called Vlei. Was born and bred there. Grew up with three siblings, and I'm the last born. And I'm one of the few people who are fortunate to grow up with both parents. Even now, they're still married. Yeah, I did my primary school in Vlei in a school called Munjezi Primary School. After that, I did my high school at a school called Emmanuel Christian School. Very spiritual school. And then after that, I went to Wits University, Johannesburg. And then after that, I did my career that we'll be talking about today.
Awesome.
Yes.
Tell me, what inspired you into doing CA,
Okay.
chartered accountant?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I think I made a mistake. I should have introduced myself as Thilivhali Netshifheffe, CASA.
Come on.
I should never forget
Let's
those
try it
four
again.
letters. Let's try it again. Thilivhali Netshifheffe,
Sure.
CASA. You know,
Sure.
I've worked hard for those four letters. We should, and to all the CAs out there, you should
Yeah.
always say that, because doctors usually say, I'm Dr. Who, Dr. Who.
Sure.
And we never get to say, I'm CATD, you know,
Sure.
but then, yeah. So what inspired me to do this? It's a very funny story. Unlike other people who will say, I've always wanted to do this. For me, it was my mom, actually. It was my mom. So my mom came back from work. She's a nurse, and you know how nurses are competitive, very competitive. She came back from work and then she was like, "Oh, one of my colleagues' son is a CA and owns a very nice house in Pulukwane, and I think this will be a good career for you because you're good in accounting." And yeah, in that time I was actually good, very good in accounting, grade 9 accounting. Um, and then I was like, oh, okay, I would love to give it a try. If it has money, then I'll definitely give it a try. But then that was just it, that there's this thing called CA, it exists, and then you just have to do accounting. That was all the information that I had in that time. But then as time goes on, that's when I started digging and researching and trying to get information, bit and pieces from different people and different. But then there was, to be honest, there was no like solid information because it was I come from a very small town. Now that we live in big town, you realize
Sure.
that you come from a very small place where things like CASA back in the days were never discussed, and there was no internet, social media, and all of this that would give you exposure. And that time, even in my family, I was not allowed to have a phone. So I didn't have much information, just whatever I hear from people or what I learned from school. So this accounting book had the accounting book that we're using in that year, because we are the first, when I was in grade 10, we're the first class to do CAP. What was called something,
Okay.
CAP. It was called CAP, some education system. So they brought new books. Oh, and then
okay.
those books inside, like the accounting book, it had like different bodies, SIPA, SEMA, whatnot. So they were teaching, like there was a chapter where they were teaching us about all these accounting bodies, right?
Okay.
And then that's when I started saying, oh, then what is this? Which one will I join? Because they tell you the advantage of each, and what each body does, right? And then, lucky enough, at church there was this lady who was in varsity UJ, and she was doing SEMA. So I started asking her, like, I want to do psycha. So how does that work? And then she was like, hey, come to my place, I'll teach you everything. Then I went to her place. Then she said, okay, I'm doing SEMA. This is the one that paid the most. And that time you are more focused on money.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I would love to do this one that
Is that the one
pays
that you
the
were
more.
doing now?
Yeah, the psycha one.
Okay.
Which is the CA one.
Okay.
And then, but then that was it. It was just like, okay, I want to do this one. And then that was it, the full stop of it.
It's funny how you would think the education system has not changed, and you would think that most children already know about the things that they're supposed to be doing when they get to work.
Yes.
But it's not the case.
It's never the case.
Yeah.
It's never the case.
It's so interesting. That is the reason why probably we're also having these conversations. So that at least we can try to educate as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And they understand what are the avenues that are out there and which ones can you go to. So like you said, that's how you actually got to do what do you call this? CA, right? Then you actually get to go to do it. How was it like doing CA and just explaining the life in varsity, and what is it that you were doing in order to get to graduate?
Okay. So remember that, like what I was saying, it's just that I knew that, okay, this is what I want to do. But then now there's also applying, like you're saying, like when you are out of, let's say, Gauteng province or Western Cape or nice cities province, you don't have the advantage or access to technology or a lot of things. I don't know now, but then this was back in the days. And I was supposed to apply for the course, but then because I didn't have access, we're still supposed to apply with papers and send to the post office and all of that.
Yes.
But then, lucky enough, my sisters, my older sisters, were already in varsity. So they said, don't worry, we'll apply to you. Mind you, they don't even know what I want to study. They just said, I will apply for you. And then I just trusted them. You know, being the youngest, you trust whatever and you have to respect the elders.
Yeah.
So the other one who was in UCT applied for whatever, I think it was maths related, and the one who was in Johannesburg applied for commerce. But then she also didn't know. She was just like, okay, she's studying accounting. Let's just apply accounting related course. And then the other one was like, she's good in maths. Let's apply maths. Because I was good in maths, science, and accounting.
Nice.
It's like apply maths, science. And then the other one's like, let's apply accounting, you know. And then come pass metric. Okay, let me take you a step back.
Okay.
Sorry to do this to you. So when I was still in grade 10, right? Because I'm studying accounting, knowing this psycha thing, go to grade 12. When you are in grade 12, then psycha was coming to part with the disadvantaged communities.
Okay.
So they approached Wembe district. So I was part of Wembe district because I was studying in Lostrichard. So they gave them bursary application.
Okay.
Right? And then to distribute. They gave Wembe district to distribute to principals. So my principal gave the accounting teacher. The accounting teacher was like, I don't know, I think it was very, it was very fun. I was like, okay, out of the whole class, just called me and say, apply this form and bring it back tomorrow. Right, it was called Tutuka bursary application, whatever. We didn't even know what that is.
But then, of favor. That was favor. For
it was favor. It was favor for me. You must thank you so much for saying that. Yes, that was God's grace. And when I got, I took the form, gave my dad to fill to complete the form, brought it back. Then they took it back to the district. I'm sure the district took it back to Saika. Saika did their thing because Tutuka is part of Saika bursary. And then they called me and said that I got a call. Everything was happening via my dad because we didn't have access to phones. They called my dad to say, okay, we want your child to attend our winter camp that we're hosting at TEF, to get exposure into this Saika thing, just also doing the winter school because it was winter. Then I was one of the few people. I think in my location was just the two of us, me and this other guy, and then we went to the TEF winter camp, Tutuka camp, and then that's where they broadened up my mind to say, this is Saika, this is what CAs do, this is what you must do when you're a CA, and this is what, and this is what. But then already my sisters have applied, so, but then I don't know why, I think I was so childish. I didn't even have an idea to call them to say, can you change or whatever. I was like, okay, well, I just hoped that they did the right thing, and wrote my exams. Towards the end, got a message from Tutuka to say that you have been awarded the bursary, because I did the entire process. NBT passed everything that they wanted me to pass. And then they said, you got the bursary. Which varsity are you going to? And then UCT was like, no, we don't want you here. They rejected all the things that they applied for me, which is very weird because my marks were fine. Everything was fine. And we didn't even want to go and ask them or whatever. We're like, okay, we accept that. And then vets accepted me, and then that's when I was like, to Tutuka, I'm going to vets.
Yes.
And then they took the process to the person who was administrating Tutuka bursaries at vets. And then that's when I got into vets and started my career there. Yeah. Still, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, I'm following the lead. Sure. Holy Spirit, wherever you take me, I follow. Sure. Then I went there. When I got there, they booked a whole rest for us because it was before the school opened. And then they introduced themselves to us. They gave let's say second year students that were there introduced themselves to us, and then they're like, we'll be your mentor until the lectures start and whatever. We'll take you through the process. It felt like heaven, to be honest. That's why I said when I started, my story is not like other people, and because we normally hear the stories of people who struggle throughout their career and all of that. And I do appreciate that. But then for me, I didn't go through struggles. And that's why I'm saying this was God-appointed career, God-appointed time, and it was the Holy Spirit. I got there were people who were already there to assist me. Sure. And then they were like, do you have a rest? Did you apply for rest? Guess what? My sister didn't apply for rest. And then they're like, take this paper, go to the rest department. When I got there, just showed them the paper, they give you a rest.
Wow.
A room. Take this paper, take you to dining room. They plan your meals for you. You're going to be eating breakfast, lunch, dinner. Give us your account. We'll be giving you an allowance. Like all these things happening at the same.
Was just prepared for you.
Everything was already prepared for me. And mind you, that I didn't know anything. I was just like, I just know that I want to be a CA. Sure. But then everything was there and everything was working together for my good, right? And then start lectures. Then I started attending lectures. culture shock. Struggles.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm this kid from almost rural areas, you're coming to the big city. Like then other student came.
Yeah.
Culture shock, how people dress, how people talk, people dating different people. Like it was just a lot to take in and digest.
Sure.
Especially for someone, because I was very spiritual as well, because I was very into my spirituality and my religion. So at first I had a what's this? I don't want to say depression, trauma.
Trauma, yes.
Trauma to say, I can't be here. I don't deserve to be here. Who am I? The low self-esteem.
Yes,
Like,
okay.
I can't do this. Who am I? No, those thoughts that look at that person is better than me. I can't, I always had the mind that I can't. Then we attended the first lectures, and then we had to write the first exam, like the first test. I don't know what they call it, but then there was a first test that you write.
Okay.
And then marks come out, right? Because now you are studying with people, all of them are smart. They came straight A's. You're like, I can't. You are used to your people, your people wherein you always be the top. You're
So
untouchable. Now
you've
you
met
are
your match.
Exactly. Marks came out. For one subject, I passed with a distinction. Accounting, I passed. And then this other one, I didn't pass. I was like, okay, first failure in my life,
How was it?
It was disappointing. And, it was sad for me. But then those Tutuka people always told us that, prepared us for this, to say this thing happened, because they normally have after counseling, or there was a lot of support that they gave us to Tuka Bazari. So they already prepared us for failure and disappointed, because they know that we're smart people, and when we fail, we have breakdown. But then let me tell you, that was my first fail ever. And then from there on, I was like, I'm picking up my socks. I'm focusing on why I'm here. Studying, attending lecture, asking the tutors after, like, if I don't understand something. I took it to myself. I didn't abuse the freedom of saying, now my mom is not seeing me, now my dad is not seeing me, I'm here alone.
But you also said that you were also you had Christian morals.
Yes.
So that also helped as well.
It helped a lot, because I always sit down with my friend, like my colleague at work, and we laugh and say, what were we doing in university? And then we laugh, because literally, because I was eating in rest, like at rest, they were giving us food. The only time I would leave varsity, like those who know vets, they know like what, because I was staying in Jubilee restroom, so it was in the campus. So the only time I left campus, it might be once a month, when I'm going to get something at Clicks, and come back. But then I never left.
So you were inside.
I was inside. I was inside. If I'm not in my room, I'm at church. If I'm not at church, I'm library. If not library, and it's like something just shut me. And I didn't even envy people who were going to party, people who were doing
Freshers'
things.
balls.
I didn't it was just not in me to do that.
Sure.
And like, that's my routine. Lecture, home, school, church. I was even doing a lot of things at church. Doing what? Cell leader, whatnot. I was mostly active at church. And then I studied, I did my undergrad, right? So I was studying BXI, like let me be specific. I was studying BXI. So at VETS, if you want to be a CA, you must study something called BXI, which stands for Bachelor of Accounting Science. And you are majoring in 4 modules. So you're doing auditing, tax, financial accounting, finance with managerial accounting, right? So by God's grace, I conquered the edge. We conquered the edge on record time. So I finished my degree, graduated, and then did my postgrad, which is like an honors. right? Postgraduate in diploma in accountancy. So you're still measuring on the 4 subject, right? And also when you are in 3rd year, we're doing this 4 model, right? If you fail one, you repeat all of them.
Oh, that's bad.
Do you understand?
Yeah, it's bad. Sounds like
Yeah.
it's bad. Yeah.
So that was a crazy year for me. Even lost weight. I was
Oh,
like,
shame.
I don't want to fail.
Yeah.
I don't want to fail. I was so focused. My standards were flagged very well. So we had 15 books, big books, like if you follow these people, you will see them with books.
Sure.
We even drive them. We have bags to drive them because they won't fit in your bag.
Sure.
So I was like, I'm not repeating. Imagine repeating something that you passed. So that was my other drive to say, I don't want to repeat.
Yeah.
I don't want to repeat all
And
of
I mean,
them.
you're just from passing everything record time.
Exactly.
Sure.
And then, and then after that, I finished by God's grace, I passed my CTA. They call it CTA. Some call it postgrad. Some call it honors.
Okay.
Yeah. So different people use different names.
So-
and then
Okay.
that was it with my varsity. It was in 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're done. You're done with varsity, right? You get to work. There's different. What do you call this? There's different bodies where you guys get trained, right? What is it that you were doing then? Just explain in terms of the articles. What is the reason for doing all those articles, and then what do they bring out of you to become a CA?
Okay. So when you're done with your postgrad, right? Let's call it postgrad because different people have different names for
Okay.
it. When you're done with that, right? It's not different bodies. It's the same body. The body
Okay.
is called Psycha. Psycha is
the
the
body
body.
is one,
Yeah.
okay.
Different companies.
Okay, I see.
And then there's a top and there's the tip. So there's audit firm and there's like other industries that are not audit firm.
Okay.
Right? So after you do that, guys, you have to write an exam with Psycha,
Okay.
which is called ITC. So it's board exam 1, right? So you study for that now. Just when you thought you're done
Studying,
studying,
yeah.
Psycha is like, no.
Get more.
A board with me now. You're
Sure.
done with your varsity. Now we're dealing with Psycha. It's not a
Sure.
varsity, it's Psycha itself. So I wrote that, and first attempt, I failed.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, it was so
And
painful.
you are a person who's used to passing. So,
Record time, everything. I failed.
and then how did that make you feel?
Made me feel bad. Like, it was like the world is falling apart. But then, lucky enough, the audit firm that I was with, they don't do it like other audit firm wherein they give them envelope and then they make it look so embarrassing if you failed. So it was just like they released names and my name was not there.
Oh,
Then you know that you failed. And then Psycha also just sent you a message that unfortunately, and then that was the first time receiving unfortunate.
Oh my God.
I was so disappointed. Crushed, I even cried.
Oh, shame.
I cried.
Yeah,
And I called my mom because I'm a mama's baby. I called
Yeah.
my mom. And then she was like, no, this thing happened. Obviously, she'll try to console you and make, just try the next one. You'll make it. Then I picked myself up. And also maybe it was just not too embarrassing because now you are with people that you don't know. Like you are with different people because now you are working.
Yes.
So you're with new colleagues and they don't know what you're going through. So I was like, okay, let me just pick up myself. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I'll write the next one, which was that time was in June. So
And then what did you learn about yourself?
That time?
Yeah.
First of all, I think that's when I learned dealing with failure, like proper failure.
Okay.
I realized that Failure is not the end of the world. You can still pick yourself. You have to be resilient. Being resilient is when you fail and then you don't say, God, why me? Why is this always
Question
happening
too
to me?
many
Yeah,
things,
that's
yeah.
not being resilient. Being resilient is when you fail, you say, I'll pass next time. That's what I said, I'll pass next time. Let me try June, register for June. I will pass. Like I had to tell myself that.
And then how did it go the second time
I passed.
Nice.
I passed. I was like, I'll deal with you. ITC.
So
I'll
that was
deal
just the
with you.
first one, right?
Yeah.
So from there onwards, that means you were just passing. Or
No,
was it?
remember I was done with varsity. This is
Okay.
Psycha.
Yes, the Psycha, yes.
They have 2 board exams.
Yes.
The first one, initial test of competence.
Okay.
So they're testing your initial competences. Like,
So that's the one
are
that
you
you
ready?
failed.
Because you're out of varsity. Are you ready into this thing?
Okay.
Or you are just chancing. And then they found that I was chancing.
A shame.
Yeah. And then the second one, I showed them, I'm serious. I'm
Yeah.
not chancing. Yeah. And then I passed. Then the last one, you have to meet certain hours to do the second one.
Okay.
And normally you do it when you are in second year of your articles. Right? And
What are articles for someone
Yes,
who
yes.
doesn't really understand
Yeah.
that world?
so articles is like internship.
Okay.
It's like an internship if we're putting it in
simple
simple
terms, yeah.
simple term. It's like you have to do an internship for 3 years and meet is it 3,600 hours of working. Then Psycha will say you're a CA.
Sure.
But then it's not just the hours. There's hours, there's competencies. Competencies. Like they test your competence. Are you competent enough
Sure.
when you are doing this 3 years? And after getting your competencies, they still make you write the exam.
Those board exams, yeah.
The last one.
Yes.
Not the initial
Then
one.
the initial one, yeah, the second one.
Yeah, it's called APC.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
So I did my articles with an audit firm. So like you said, that some people do with audit firm and some go the other route of doing with banks or retail like ShopRite.
Okay.
And other industries like manufacturing, Tiger, like the manufacturing companies, right? But then I did mine with an audit firm.
Is auditing the most difficult one? Is that why it pays a lot?
No, auditing in varsity is the most difficult one.
Okay.
Let me tell you. Let me not lie. A lot of people fail auditing.
Okay.
And auditing is not child play.
Yeah.
And it's because it's theory.
Oh, okay.
When
I
you are
see.
in varsity. And
Okay.
we as CAs, we're not too good with theory. So it's a lot of reading and then they expect you to have practical knowledge and you have never
okay,
done
so-
this thing.
sure.
So in your mind, it doesn't make sense, So we end up failing. Like we
Okay.
fail, especially if you have that lecturer who just set the exam to make you fail, which is what we went through at Vets.
Sure.
So yeah, it was the most difficult one to do in varsity. But then the industry now, which is the practical part when you are doing articles, right? It's ours.
Sure.
Hours is the problem.
So is it much better in at work compared to varsity?
Yeah, at work you don't even feel it. At work you don't even feel it. And when you are doing the practical work, it's easy and it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like you said, you started specializing in CA, right? CA auditing, right? So that's when you have done the articles.
Yeah.
Right, and you write the last exam, and then you pass that one, right?
Yes.
So you get. So after passing that, now you can now say that I am Thilivhali Netshifhefhe CA. SA. Is that what you?
Yes.
Okay.
So you write the second one that I wrote during COVID, the first group to write during COVID, wearing mask for
my
8
God.
hours. You write it for 8 hours.
Sure. No, that was just.
You write
load
for
shedding, yeah.
yeah. You write for 8 hours without stopping, without a break or anything. You are typing
Sure.
8 hours non-stop.
How intense is that?
It's intense. Like that room is also intense. Everyone is on their laptop. Everyone is serious. Go rough. Go bad. That time you are wearing a mask and the mist is going into your glasses.
Sure.
You don't even want to pee when you're writing that exam. You're like,
Sure.
hold it.
Is it possible to advise someone in terms of how to prepare for that exam?
Yeah.
Or you can't really, since maybe it always changes, or is it always standard? Is it something that you can do, or you can say to advise someone who's going to be writing it?
Okay, yeah. So before you actually go and write it with Psycha,
Okay.
there's like a mini course.
Okay.
Let's just call it course, right? A mini course that you must do during the year. If you pass that mini course, then Psycha will say you can write. Not anyone can just go and write. You have to pass that mini course. And that mini course is
Prepares you.
it prepares you to write the actual exam.
Okay.
You know, but if you don't pass that mini course, they call it APT, right? So if you don't pass that, then you won't write the exam.
Sure.
So I had to first do that. So the three, I think, Endunamo, I only know there's three. Sorry if there's something else. I know Endunamo, there's APT, and then there's the UCT course. I did with APT because I was Johannesburg based. Yeah. So I did it with APT and then I passed. Then I was eligible to write the Psycha one,
yes,
the real
the board
one.
exam, yeah.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
after writing, right, that one, you pass. You are happy. You're like, whew, I'm done with studying.
Sure.
Taking a break for my entire life now.
Sure.
Now comes competencies. Remember I told you there's competence. Remember you're still in training.
Okay.
Right? You have to meet your hours. Have you met your hours? Have you met your competencies? If it's a tick, met hours, tick competencies, then after your third year, right? They sign you off. They prepare like a portfolio for you with evidence to say TD has met all these, whatever, and then they send it to Psycha. Then you register with Psycha to be called CASA.
A qualified CASA.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to know so is there a way to, like, besides those ATPs, UCT, is there another way of actually things that you can maybe prepare them to prepare when to go right, or
Without them.
I mean, like, besides those tests that you write prior, is there other advices that you can give that, okay, maybe in that APT, maybe look at this section, this one comes more, or is there something like that where you can
there are
actually advise someone?
mentorship programs out there. I know one with I just forgot the name, because the person who started it was actually my mentor when I was a trainee. She now has a mentorship program. There are also some mentorship program, like even in your audit firm. If you're in an audit firm, some audit firm offer mentorship of people who are preparing for that exam. Also me, if you want to ask me, you can come ask me, and then I will help you prepare for the exam. But then you can't do it without passing that mini course.
Yes.
I just merely give you advice. This is what you can do. This is what I did, and it worked for me.
Okay.
Yeah. But then there are a lot of mentorship programs that are there also to support you. Yeah. Also leave days. They give you leave days to study.
Just to prepare for it.
Yeah, because they released a case study. Then you have to study that case study for 7 days. Then you write the exam. So they give you, like, a lot of company give you leave days to go prepare yourself.
Prepare for it.
Yeah.
That's. I think even when Mr. Lidwawa was here, that was the previous guest, was a chartered accountant. I realized that it seems like there's so much structure into producing a CA, a chartered accountant, right? Qualified chartered accountant. For, in your own words, what is chartered accounting, and also explain what you have specialized in, which is auditing. What is a chartered accountant in auditing?
Okay, so everyone always, what do you do? You know, like, in simple term, we are the police in corporate.
Okay.
I don't know. Like we come, we go to companies, they give us their financials, like their financial statements, and then we just verify whatever they're saying is accurate. That's what we do. All these years just to come. And if you see, it's just one or two paper of our signature. But then the work behind it,
It's a lot.
crazy.
Yeah, I think maybe that builds up to the next question. What makes a good CA in your stream of work?
Okay, this is what I think.
Okay.
Right? I'm also newly qualified. So it's
Okay.
like 1 year.
How long?
I qualified last year, January. So
Oh, kudos.
yeah. So I'm still newly qualified. I'm
Sure.
also still learning the industry. But then what I would say makes a good CA, right? It's a CA that is competent. Because we get signed off 1,000, 2,000 of us. What makes you special? When a company looks at you, it will look at what makes you special. Or when someone looks at you, what makes you special? Are you a CA because you were able to finish everything? Or are you a CA because you are competent? Are you relevant? You know, you have to be relevant. You have to be competent. You have to have the knowledge of the industry, new trends, what's happening now, you know, because we don't want to have a CA that is not relevant, is not competent, and is not up to date with what's happening, especially now that the world is shifting towards
AI.
AI. How are you shifting towards that? You know, like you always have to equip yourself and develop yourself to make it in this industry. And because it's a competitive industry and there are many of us, but then what are you bringing in the table? Yeah.
So what is it that you are doing that makes you
Just being
makes
the
you a very
best
good-
in what I do.
Because the reason why I'm also saying, I think I'm just for someone who's actually listening to this. I think I get the privilege of actually asking you how is it going at work, and I think from the time you came here, I don't know how many times you have said that you have rose up the ladder, the corporate ladder. So maybe just give us also the things that you're doing to become that like it looks like from when you look it from outside, it looks like there's something that you're doing which makes the people who you're working for see that you are a gem in that company. I want you to just explain so that at least you can help someone there, or maybe someone who is a chartered accountant, but they're probably not doing some of the things right. So maybe you can just explain what is it that it takes to become a very good chartered accountant in auditing.
In auditing.
Yeah, I mean like generally, but I
Okay,
wanted to
yeah.
make it tailor-made it for in your career.
Yeah. I will tell you in general, and also I'll go into in audit. So in general, right, like I've said that I'm very spiritual and all of that. So the Bible does say that in whatever you do, you should do it at your best. This is paraphrasing, right? So
So that's more like your core.
that's the principle to me. In whatever I do to my best of my best. And I think it has worked for me, you know. So if I'm given a task, I do it to my best of my ability. Whether it's something that someone will think it's small, or have attitude, or have pride, like I can't do this, I do that to the best of my ability. And that's what I'll say that it makes me unique, because I always strive to bring quality and also do something to excel in it. I bring excellence in whatever I do, you know. And also in industry wise, it's just having people skills. It works, trust me, Shepard. Having people skills like project management in audit, because now I'm an audit manager. I'm always managing I have to manage client, manage the team, you know, manage people's expectation.
Yeah.
So having a good project management skill helps you in audit. Sometimes you don't even have to be smart. Just having good project management
Sure.
skill, you will do wonders. Just
love
that.
that, yeah.
Yeah, but then you should also know it's not something that come at once. It's something that you should practice
Develop over time, yeah.
over time
Sure.
and equip yourself into. Even me, I'm still learning to be a good project manager, but then it works. It works. Just to and also to know, know what you're doing. If something comes your way, go read about it. Don't expect someone to come and give you a summary. You should know, and you should be able to ask questions. The moment you can't, if you can't ask questions, then it means you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So whenever a new term comes my way, I go and read it. Try to find out what is this, ask questions around that to gain more knowledge on it. So that's what I would advise someone. Also, people who are doing their articles is that wherever, even in your job, don't wait for someone to come and tell you this is how you should do it. You should you should go and do it. You should equip yourself, like develop yourself, and it's one of Psycha's competences, actually, developing yourself,
Okay.
and also networking, meeting people, knowing different people. And to be to be specific, like I was also so not open-minded into networking because when I was in varsity, I was surrounded by a certain demographic, my article certain demographic. Then I had to relocate to Cape Town now, and then you get exposure into different demographic, and like you start with an attitude because you've always known this, but then when you get to know the other people, get to know other people's culture, you then realize that there's a lot in life, there's a lot to learn,
can learn,
and
yeah.
you can learn from someone you've been undermining your entire life.
Oh, that's a mouthful in terms of, I like the wealth of wisdom that you just poured now. And maybe a follow-up question is what is that you learned ever since you got your qualification as a CASA up until now? What is it, the most valuable lesson that you have learned up until now?
The most valuable one is not taking things too hard.
Okay. Is that now talking about corporate world?
Corporate world.
Okay,
like,
sure.
Don't bring your emotion to work.
Sure.
They will crush you. You will always be a crybaby.
Sure. Oh, shame. Did someone make you cry?
No. It's lit there. Like,
Sure.
they don't know you. They don't know where you come from. They don't know your background. Like, you should not always bring your background or where you come from to work. But then on a serious note, like, it's not taking things too hard. Because today you'll work with someone and then that person like give you a bad attitude. Tomorrow the same person will be so kind to you. And actually you will learn from that person. So if you take things too hard and then you just turn your heart on people, then you will end up having a lot of enemies and you'll never learn.
Yeah.
So don't be an emotional person.
I like that. Okay, is there anything else before I?
No, I think it's that and project management. Being a manager now, like I've learned a lot about management and managing different people, different individuals, like different cultures. And being a Christian, and then now you're managing a Muslim, and you actually learn about Muslim. Because when you're a Christian, you think, no, I don't want to hear that. And now that you're working with them, you're getting to know them, getting to know the way they do things. It's interesting. And also it makes you grow and broaden up your spirituality and your life also as an individual. So project management for me is also something that I'm really enjoying at the moment.
I like that. I like what you said. Don't bring your emotions at work. And it talks about professionalism, because that's what professionalism is. The ability to separate the emotional side of things and to push the actual work. And we can always deal about this emotions after, but in terms of work. Let's do the
Work
work
time.
first. And I really like that because some of the people, like you said, they can want to bring so many things that talks about themselves, but we are talking about work here, and you have to deliver when it comes to work. And I think there's a valuable lesson to that anyone in any field can take. Let's do the work, and it's not personal, it's work.
It's work.
So now, I think I did mention that you did grow already in your work, right? Your current position now, right? You said you're working in project management, right? It's not something that you did before. It's something that you're learning, right? What is it that you like about project management, and if there is another tier on top of management in terms of your growth, is there another thing that you can do on top of project management?
Okay. So this is in audit, right? Because I'm in audit.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily that it's something that I haven't done. Remember that I've been doing it for 3 years as a trainee.
As a trainee, yeah.
Now it's like I'm in a higher level. Now I have to take the knowledge that I've gained and pass it to the people who are coming from varsity.
Sure.
So basically what I do is now I manage these trainees.
The young ones, yeah.
The young ones.
Yeah. So you're the big sister.
Yo, and the new generation, hectic. Eh?
Okay. What's hectic?
I don't know. There's just opinionated.
Okay.
Too much, and they know their rights. They know their rights. They know more than their teachers sometimes. But then, that's a story of another day. But then, what I do now in my role is that I manage these people, right? So what we do in audit is that you get a client. Let's say, for example, your podcasts, when it's making millions, and then you like, come and audit me. We'll come, and then we'll have a team. So a team will have a first year trainee. This is the one who's straight from varsity. Second year trainee who's preparing for their last board exam. And the third year trainee who has passed their board exam and is happy about leaving the firm.
Okay.
Normally they're excited third day of leaving. They can't wait.
Sure.
So what I do, they know what to do, but then I come in, give them direction, when to do it, when to finish certain tasks. Also teaching them how to do certain tasks that they can't do. After that, I have to review all their work. Reviewing all their work, it means literally whatever they've done, I have to go and relook and see them if they've done it correctly, right? And then after that, we take it to the partner. I'm sure you always hear about partnering on movies. And so we take it to the partner. The partner have a final look at it. So
you report to the partner?
Yes. Okay. And then have a final look at it and say, okay, I'm happy Spandela is doing right things here.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. What I like is the opportunity you give to those who are coming under you. So that way you kind of like train someone who's going to be in your position in the future. So they are getting that training already. So, and it's structured. So that means even if we're not there's someone who's going to come and take that position and still train unless if maybe some of the things is also part of like your people skills, like you said, you put your own character as well, your own quirks, depending on how you want to do things. I like that a lot, right? And for you, what's next? Since the highest looks like the highest after what you're doing now looks like it's partner. Is that what you're looking at, or are you now thinking of getting into venturing into your own thing and doing your own thing? The reason why I'm asking this is for the sake of this community. I must say you're an excellent auditor from what I've heard and from what I keep on hearing, and you can see that you're very excellent at your work, right? So that's why I'm going back to the question I'm asking is the next one looks like his partner. How easy or how hard is it to get into that partner state? And if not partner, are you planning on doing something on your own? And maybe we can leave your details there so that people can start hitting you up, and then you get that extra guap.
Oh my God.
Sure.
Thank you. I'll take it as a compliment
Sure.
saying that I'm an excellent auditor. Like I said, I'm fairly newly qualified.
Yeah.
I'm still finding my feet and seeing what's there for me. But then audit is what I know for now, and that's what I specialize in for now. So, and I also just want to give you clarity on how to climb the ladder.
Corporate ladder, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
the corporate ladder in our stream. Like you start as a supervisor, right? Then you get promoted to let's just call it level 1 manager. That's where I am, wherein you're getting exposure from small clients or small companies, right? Then you go to level 2, then you get media mixture of listed companies, unlisted companies, and then you go to a senior manager. That's when now you even involved in a lot of business that happen in the company, and it's like you are more experienced now. You are in a higher place.
Okay.
And then you get into associate director.
Okay.
Then you can sign the financial. Remember that the purpose is to sign, right? So you can sign. So you have to be registered. There's another board that governs the auditors.
Okay.
They will assess you to see if you are a real auditor. And then if you pass that assessment, you get registered with them, and then you become an associate director. So you are like a director now.
Is it the same thing as a partner?
No. It's a below level of the partner.
Oh, okay, sure.
Right.
Okay.
It's just that now you have the papers that you can be a
You
partner.
can sign. Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
you can sign.
I like that.
But then at that level, you are signing smaller nyana ones, not the big ones, like smaller nyana ones that don't have a lot of risk. And then when you have grown into that role and you have proven yourself that, or let's not say proven, you are competent and you have grown and you are able to do it, then you get the promotion to be the big boss.
So big boss, that's being a partner.
Yes.
I like that. Okay, so you are level 1 manager and you report to a partner.
Yeah.
So that means a partner looks at your work.
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't mention there's level 2 and level 3, then you get to associate, right? So for you, that means the next step is
The next manager.
managed level.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I go to senior manager. Yeah.
So in terms of experience, how long would it take for you to get to, let's say, to get to the last level of management, the senior level?
Well, most people takes them 5 years, 5, 6.
That's 5 years after getting their board, passing their
Yeah,
board.
being the manager, being the manager.
And then you're only 1 year in.
Yeah. 1 year in.
But the reason why I'm asking this is for students or for someone who's actually, like you said, someone who's just entering into accounting. They kind of like have to have an idea of how it looks and how long it will take. Because someone will think, okay, I'm going to be a partner in the next 2 years, but you realize that there's a lot of homework that you need to do in order to get there. And that's also helping me also understand what you guys are doing. And I think I like the aspect that you brought because as I meet different chartered accountants, they have different experiences and different goals. So I really love how you explained from where you are and where you can be. I love that a lot.
Yeah, so you see where you can end up. And getting to your question that do I want to go to up there? At this point, this might change. Like I said, that I'm feeling new. I don't have a goal to be the partner, and this is not because I don't enjoy my job or anything. I love my job and I enjoy it, but then I don't think that's the purpose for me, just to be a partner. I would love to shift to something which is more FRS focused, like standard, let's say standard focused,
Okay.
right? Like specialized, focused in a sense of consultancy, wherein you consult with me if you want to understand something,
I see.
and I give you explanation. Yeah, I think that might be my end goal, to be in a consultation environment, and wherein I provide guidance, I provide like updates, updates into the in the industry, and yeah, and draftings of financials and all of that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that explaining of your world, and I have a niece who wants to do chartered accountant.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
and I think these conversations, they're actually helping someone who wants to do it to understand it more. So I think since we have now almost exhausted the work, right? I just need you, as we are closing, what is it that you can advise someone who's listening to this? Just to, if any advice, can be anything, life or work or career wise, so that at least they can run with that in more of encouragement.
Okay, so my encouragement, and someone who's listening now, I'll say this in, there's a saying in my language which says, "Orara onovo oedira ofura," which means the word, you can translate.
Direct translation.
Yeah, direct translation. The one who wakes up sleeping,
Yeah.
it's full in their stomach. So it
Yeah.
means they are rich.
Sure.
So which means that there's nothing that can come when you are sitting. You have to stand up and work for it.
Okay.
And you need to see your end goal. You need to have a determined plan for your life and work for it. There is no one who's coming to rescue you, let me tell you. And there's no one who's coming. Let me repeat it. You have to make the decision. You have to stand up and work and work and work. And also, guys, I know as African people, we love keeping it to ourselves. We also have to share knowledge. This is why I love this podcast. Like, let's share knowledge, share platform, share things like with other people so that they know where to start or what to do next. Yeah, but then don't lazy around. Do something.
I like that a lot. I think maybe in closing, I'll say, go get it,
Yes.
and in the process, share the information.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'll call you Tiri. For the sake
Yes.
of
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Anyways.
I really appreciate this conversation. We did so well, and I think I understand chartered accountant much better now. And all the best in all your endeavors.
Thank you.
And Steke Podcast is rooting for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Anyways, bye.